everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's video I'm going to be answering the questions that you, my viewers, friends, followers, and subscribers have sent to me in one of the videos where I asked to send me some questions. I also asked on Maker's Playground and I asked on Instagram, basically all my social medias, for you guys to send me questions, and I have 9 great questions here from you guys. I know I answered a lot more in the first AMA, but I guess that pretty much covered everything. This is some new stuff people are wanting to know. Before I get into the actual viewer submitted questions, I want to answer some questions that are the most common that I get in the comments below and from people that I talk to and interact with. The first most common one was who originally taught me woodworking, and that was my grandfather. This is actually his workshop. It was left to me when he passed away, and around 80% of the tools out here are originally his. There's some original Craftsman, some original Delta tools out here, hand saws, old hand tools, vintage tools, Black & Decker brand, and I still use them and they work great for me. I've kept them maintained and took care of them just like he did. He was my first teacher, and he taught me how to scroll saw at the young age of 14 over a Christmas break from school, and I picked it up and I learned it, and then I wanted to try other stuff, and then now as I progressed in my teenage years, I left woodworking, and then I picked it back up after he passed away in 2012. I picked it back up in early 2013 in a way just to stay close with him and the connection, and I've kept with it ever since, and it has become a great passion of mine to do woodworking, and this is also my escape to the outside world. But he was my very first woodworking teacher. I don't have many pictures of him. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture with him as an adult, but I do have this picture that I have hanging out here of me. I hope there's not a glare on that. That's him holding me at the local feed and seed store, showing me baby chickens for the first time. My grandfather was very much a outdoorsman. He loved having a garden. He was a beekeeper. He took rabbits to rabbit shows and won trophies, and I have those out here as well. But as for that, that is who originally taught me everything, and then everything else I've picked up from other people, other teachers along the way, but my first woodworking teacher was my grandfather. The best item that I have that I sell and is the most popular is the scroll saw compound cut keychains. I've made them. I've got a video on making this one, which is my name, the Artisan Pirate. They're just great conversation pieces. The other one says Myrtle Beach, and these are 2 that I have clipped on my bag, and a lot of people always ask about them. And when I started back up woodworking, this was the most popular item I made. I've probably made around 300 of these, and all these are individually hand cut, and they're unique and one of a kind, but really, really awesome. And I love making these over on the scroll saw because there's no laser or CNC machine that can reproduce these in this style, so it really adds to the value of them, if you want to call it that. But I enjoy making them, and I've still got my original one. The original one finally just wore out because they are made of wood, but that has always been my most popular item, especially around holiday time, because they're great stocking stuffers. People get their businesses put on them, and then they hang them from the rearview mirrors of their car or truck. I've sent some out to some other YouTubers that I follow a lot, and they're not just woodworking people, but I've made them and sent them out as gifts. The size of the shop. The size of this shop that my grandfather built from the ground up is 12 wide, 24 long, 12 foot wide, 24 foot long, and really the back 8 foot I really can't use for no heavy equipment or anything during the winter, because there's a wood stove behind the camera that you will sometimes see when I'm over sanding. It'll be in the back corner of the shot I'm filming, but I can't put a lot of stuff around that, and like an extra work table or anything like that. So really, basically, it's the size of a 1-car garage. And who was the person that inspired me, or people that inspired me to pick up YouTube woodworking? And first and foremost, Steve Carmichael. He is one of the people I sent a free keychain to. He really inspired me to come out here with a video camera, and when I first started, I started with this little flip camera. It was just a cheap $100 flip camera I got for my birthday one year, because I thought I was going to be like a little vlogger where I'd go around to stores and film everything. And I did do a few of those videos when I first had a YouTube page, but now it's developed more into the woodworking. aspect to everything, but this was the very first camera I had. Steve just really inspired me to come out here and try my hands at filming. I filmed one video, and if you go all the way back and watch that, where I cut out my name on my old 16-inch Delta scroll saw, you can tell I'm very robotic in my movements, and I sound like I'm reading from a script, which I'm not. I'm just trying to think of what to say. But then the natural evolution of the videos, and I kept doing it and getting better and better at it. But Steve Carmichael, Sterling Davis, Steve Ramsey, and Steve Good, even though he's not on YouTube much, all inspired me to come out here and start making woodworking videos. But those are the most common questions I get asked. Right now, we're going to get into the viewer submitted questions. I'm not going to try to draw this out long because I do not want to bore you guys. The first one is not a woodworking question. Remember, I also do pirate gigs for communities and birthday parties, and I hope now that everything is kind of reopening, I get to do that more and more. But it comes from Skiggly. He is a longtime follower of mine over on Maker's Playground and YouTube, always giving me great comments and everything. But he said, when Pirates of the Caribbean swept through the movie theaters, did you use the fame of pirates and visit children's hospitals to brighten their day? If not, where's the pirate most welcome? I have always wanted to go to children's hospitals and put a smile on their faces. The Ronald McDonald House is in Durham, North Carolina, and it's about 40 minutes from Burlington, where I'm at. And I really hope to do that one day once everything fully reopens, you know, and I can go in there freely and ask them, can I come in there and just, you know, give out little pirate coins or something to them. But where is the pirate most welcome? I am most welcome at community events because I don't do no sword fighting. I don't have two pirates like me and, say, someone else dressed up to actually do a sword fight with. So mostly my best events are always community events where I can just pose with people. You know, I'll get in there with them. I'll let them hold the sword. I'll let them hold the pirate pistol if I have it with me. I don't take it with me to every gig I go to, but you know, and give them little pirate coins, give them my wristbands that I have or something like that. But that is where I'm most welcome, and mainly at community events. But I also do birthday parties and guest appearances for other people's YouTube shows, things like that. Shed Loads of Fun asks, do you have a chainsaw? Yeah, I do. I have my grandfather's old gasoline-powered one. He called it Big Boy because it had a long cutting capacity on it when he would go and get wood to heat the shop with when he was out here. And then I have one from my pops. And then I have a little electric one that I use just to break up brush, like if a branch falls out of the tree or something like that. But yeah, I do have a chainsaw. I just haven't used it on YouTube and haven't had a need to use it on YouTube, but I do have one. Daniel Walsh, who is a longtime follower of mine also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, he just recently sent me this. And anyone who sends me anything with my logo or pirate theming or woodworking, I'm highly appreciative, and I have it all displayed out here in the shop. You just sometimes don't see it out here in the video angles how I film. But he just sent me this printed picture of my logo. Really, really awesome. Thank you for that, Daniel. And you'll also see this again in an upcoming shout out video where I do my stickers, because he also sent me his sticker. But he asked, Daniel Walsh asked, how do you determine what to charge for your work pieces? How I charge is by how much time I put in it. A lot of the stuff I make is smaller projects that you can hang on the wall, because I know a lot of people, especially my age, do not have a lot of counter space or a nice desk or anything to display everything on. So that is not nothing I make a lot of, but I make a lot of stuff that does hang on the wall, portraits, things like that. The keychains. The keychains I usually do a bundle on. Like if someone orders more than one, I'll have a set price for one. Then if you order more than one, I'll try to break down the price a little bit more, and also the length of the name. It's always hard determining for your work because you don't want to overcharge somebody, but then you don't want to undercharge yourself. Also, a lot of the wood that I use is given to me, or I find it on the side of the road, or it's upcycled materials. The only thing I really personally go out and buy is the 1/4-inch plywood that I use a lot over on the scroll saw. But that's the best way I can answer that one, Daniel, and I hope I've done that. give you a great answer on that one. Dude Landrum asked, do you break down and use pallet wood? Actually, yes. I actually just recently made this goblet over on my little Wind Tools lathe, and it's completely made out of pallet wood. I've also showed you guys, if you go back to a video last year, I showed you guys how to make a pallet wood panel. My pops, who knows how to weld and machine metal, made me this pallet buster. So yes, I do use pallet wood, and now that I have a joiner and again the thickness planer that I went out and got, the Craftsman one, I will be using pallet wood more and more in the future. John Fish 84, hey Artisan Pirate, do you ever use any exotic woods? If so, which projects do you use them in and where do you purchase them? Also, which Pirates of the Caribbean movie is your favorite? I'll answer the second question first. The second Pirates of the Caribbean movie is always the best because it left, the end of the movie was on a cliffhanger, but really, really awesome. I love that movie. And do I ever use exotic woods? Yes and no. If I can get scrap wood, there is a local hardwood store up the road in Gibsonville, about 15 minutes away from me. It's called the Hardwood Store of North Carolina. They're on Instagram. They post when they get shipments in. But if I can get some scrap wood from them out of their scrap bin, they have a box in the back where you can go. It's little pieces that I can put on the lathe. Every now and then I'll get some dark walnut for free that I can put on the scroll saw. I made the Happy Thanksgiving door hanger with a piece that I got from the hardwood store. But right now, especially, I know lumber prices are coming down after the pandemic, but I do know that exotic wood is very expensive and it's just a little out of my price range. I do have little sample strips of exotic woods that I got that I might try to use as an inlay. I've got some exotic strips of zebra wood, purple heart, and Paduke. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I do have those put away for a special occasion and I hope to use them soon. Klingspor Woodworking Shop asked me on Instagram. I love going to Klingspor. That is a candy store for me. And I always get in trouble when I go there because I spend more money than I need to. But I haven't really done no major purchases there. Again, that's where I got my Purple Heart strip. It's for a cutting board. I got that at Klingspor. And I know the owner of Klingspor, really, really awesome group of people. They have 4 stores here in North Carolina. They have one in Hickory, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Cary, North Carolina. The Cary location is closest to me, and I have been to all the stores except the one in Asheville. But really, really awesome group of people. Klingspor asked, what was it like to meet some of your woodworking heroes at the Klingspor Woodworking Extravaganza in Hickory, North Carolina? That was really, really awesome. I got to meet 3 of my favorite YouTubers and woodworkers all in the same day, and I have pictures with them here. I got to meet Steve Good, I got to meet Sterling Davis, and I got to meet Izzy Swan. This was before he had his major back surgery, but all of them were up there at the convention center in Hickory, North Carolina. And then later in the day I walked by and I got a picture with Sterling and Steve together. Really, really awesome. Great guys. I love the woodworking community. Really, really awesome. The woodworking community has taught me that yes, there's still great and amazing people in the world. It's not all bad news like you hear. If I post something on Instagram, like if I have an issue with a tool and I post it and I share it on YouTube, Facebook groups, to woodworking tool pages, and I ask a question, they are immediately there to help me. They're like, hey, maybe you need to tighten this screw, maybe you need to loosen this one, maybe some oil here, maybe a new blade. You know, always great and a humble group of people, and I hope that I am giving back in the same way that Steve, Sterling, and Izzy has given back. I know Izzy Swan has invited me down to his Maker's Playground workshop, and I hope to go there one day. It's in Greenville, South Carolina, I believe, and that's like a 4 or 5 hour trip for me. So hopefully one day I do get to go down there. But it was amazing and humbling to meet them, and just how community driven the woodworking community is. I really, really love that. And they're always quick to answer any questions I have, and it was great to meet them. Software and programs you use. As you guys know, I recently got a CNC machine, and I've actually done my first sign on it. This is V-carved on a pallet wood panel, so going back to pallet wood. but this is blue pine, but this is my logo. It was V-carved over on the Shark CNC, but really, really awesome. So with the new CNC, I've got some new technology. I have a new to me Windows 10 desktop, and it has the V-carve software on it. It has some modeling stuff for 3D printing. Is what I use. Again, going back to how I started, I originally used this Kodak PlaySport camera. It came with an pre-installed video editor. I can't remember the name of it because I've used it so long. It's just generic to me, but it's a very bare bones video editor. That is what I still use for my videos because I've got used to it's just drag and drop. You can overlay music, overlay text, just drag and drop in a time lapse, make stuff go quicker, make stuff go slower, because you guys know I'm a fan of doing the time lapse when out here in the workshop. But this is what I started with, and now what I'm using right now, of course you can't see it because I'm filming with it, but it's just a Sony Handycam with a flip out screen where I can actually see myself off to the side and line up shots. When I was using this for my first few YouTube videos, I had to set the shot up, cut a test piece of it because I didn't have a screen to look back on, come back, rewind it, check it on here, and then delete that to save space, and then come back and do the actual cut. So it was a lot of back and forth with this, but now with this it's so super easy. Again, it's a Sony Handycam. It was less than $200 at Walmart, but that's what I use there. Again, for years, everything up to this video was filmed, was edited, and processed and all on a Windows Vista desktop. So yeah, I made a major jump in technology going to this, and I still use that same bare bones video editor. David Jolly asked, have you ever used spiral scroll saw blades on any of your projects, and do you sell your projects that you make? Many thanks, David from England, UK. Hey man, I got friends over there. Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft and his wife made me this awesome ink pen. And it's actually sourced from Sherwood Forest because Wayne knows that I love history and the lore and legend of Robin Hood. But really, really awesome. Yes, I have used spiral blades. Let me go get the piece. This was my very first ever scroll saw portrait. It's Santa Claus with spiral scroll saw blades. But I made this. Sterling Davis finally contacted me and convinced me to try them, and I went to, again, Klingsport and picked up a pack of them, and I tried, and I broke half of them before I finally got the hang of it on the proper tensioning of it and all. And do I like spiral blades? Can I say yes and no? Because with straight blades, you're ingrained in your mind to push the work through the blade. That's just like with a table saw, a bandsaw, a router. You're pushing the work through the wood, pushing the material through the bit, the blade, or whatever. And a spiral blade opens a whole new dimension for you where you can pull the piece. If it's near the back, the throat of your scroll saw, you can go to the left, go to the right. So you have really endless throat depth for that. And it's just something that I will have to keep practicing with in my spare time until I get comfortable enough to film with it on video. But the Santa Claus portraits were the very first things I ever done with a spiral blade, and let's just say it was tedious learning. Let's see. Wow, we've already got to the end of all the questions, but the last one's a good one. Another one from Dude Landrum. How long does it take you to get your pirate outfit on? Around an hour. Right here is a picture of me. Now this was during a summer event, but this is a photo my pops took of me. But this is me in the full get up and everything, and this is the picture I send out when I'm going to be at gigs and all, like a birthday party community event to share with everybody. But now, because this was a summer event, I had on jeans and I didn't have on the vest and all the belts. I had on jeans because it was a summer fitness thing, and I participated in some of like the hula hooping where I could. They had hopscotch, and it was just harder. It was easier to do that in jeans than with the black pants that I usually wear when I'm playing the character. But here is the wig I wear, and it takes me around an hour, and the majority of that time is getting the face and the wig on in place. This is a one-piece wig. It's held on by the bandana. The bandana comes off. The wig just essentially sits on my head like a hat, and then you tie the bandana on to make it lock in place. But this is just a pirate wig I picked up off Amazon, and I've added my own stuff to it. I've added the braids, the red stuff, all these little trinkets, everything, the little bottle, the key, the leather. I handmade this out of a piece of wood out here in Dremel tool. But all in all, it takes me a long time to get ready. Now, during October, this was pre-pandemic, where I was playing pirate about every other day. I got it down to about 30 minutes because I got in a routine of doing it. There is the beard extensions that I will glue in, and I use some hair glue to glue these in to go in. But the majority of getting ready is the face. I put kohl on my eyes. I put bronzer on. I put bronzer on my face, and I go from right above my bandana all the way down to where my cross is, and then I kind of blend it in with my skin, and then I have to put the kohl in my eyes. I darken up my I do dye my goatee black and my eyebrows black, just because I never know when I'm going to get to play pirate. But then I also have a special brush where I can brush in darker stuff if the goatee is starting to lighten up and I don't have time to dye it. And then everything else just kind of falls in on clothes. I put the long baggy shirt on, then I put the vest on, and then I put the sash on. The sash is 30 foot long, and it goes around me like 5 times, so it's really like a corset. And then I tie it at the hip, and then I put on all the belts, and then the cross belt for the sword, and then I put everything that goes on my wrist and hands, and then I tuck the pistol in if I'm carrying it, and the sword in the holster, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. But again, it's just a slow process. Again, if it's if it falls in a timeline to where I'm doing pirate like every other day, or maybe over a long 3-day weekend, there's a bunch of Halloween events coming up, you know, they usually fall all kind of like around the 31st, usually the 29th, 30th, 31st, you know, those 3 days. Yeah, I can get it into a science where I'm just jumping in, jumping out of the outfit. I'm wanting to create my own original pirate character to do stuff and maybe go to Renaissance festivals and maybe shoot some video out here as the pirate. You know, some just more laid back, goofy videos that would be more family friendly. Not that my videos aren't family friendly, but more driven toward youth and putting smiles on faces, because that's what it's all about when I play pirate, is making a memory with somebody. A lot of people don't like making memories no more. They're buried in their phones, buried in their social media apps. And I just want to have fun, have a good time, and create a lasting memory with people. And that's really all the questions I got. I do wish I'd have gotten more, because I like doing these videos. I'll probably do another one next year. So be thinking up some amazing questions. And if there's anything I've missed, let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you guys want a sticker swap with me, send me your address, and I'll be happy to get a sticker out to you guys, my Artisan Pirate sticker. And hopefully you'll send your sticker to me, and I'll get it up here on the sticker swap sticker wall. But that's about all for this one. Remember, guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Thank you guys for all the amazing questions, and thank you for staying tuned and watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.